Hi, it's Miss B, back to demonstrate inserting in-text citations. In-text citations can be put in while you're keying your document. When you add in-text citations, Microsoft Office automatically creates the source for that citation. Today we're going to learn how to put in 3 different types of sources: a book, an article in a periodical, and a website. The first step is to be sure that our citations and sources are formatted using the APA documentation style for bibliography. In order to do that, we go to the Reference tab, and then we go to this drop-down arrow, which is called your bibliography style arrow. Drop down on it and find the APA 6th edition and click on it. Now, as you notice, there are several other styles on here, including MLA if you have to do an MLA report. But we're using APA 6th edition, so we'll click on that. And then we're ready to put our sources in. Our first source is going to go in this sentence right here after computer and before the period. So we're going to put our cursor after the word computer, and then we're going to space once so that it won't be right up to the word computer. The next step is to go to the word Reference tab, and on the Reference tab where it says Insert Citations, click on that, the drop down arrow, and add a new source. Once you click Add a New Source, this dialog box will show up. In this dialog box, at the very top, it asks you the type of source. So you look at it and you can click book section, journal article, article and periodical, which is what we're going to do first. So you can click on that. Then the next step is to click right here where it says Show All Bibliography Fields. When you do that, it shows all the fields and puts a star by the recommended fields. So then all you need to do is fill in your information. Okay, I filled the information in for you to help make it easier and quicker to go. Couple things I want to point out on this. The author's last name is first, followed by a comma, followed by his initials or her initials or his or her name. Then when you're filling this out, notice the title, only the first word is capitalized in the title of the article. But in the title of the periodical, every word is capitalized. Then you put the year, the month. Some magazines or periodicals don't have days, so you wouldn't have the days on there. Then you put in period, PAG, as the number of pages. Then, because we got this from the Cengage, even though there's not a star by the URL, we got this from the Cengage website, so we have to put that website URL in here so that we know exactly where that came from. So once you do that, you're finished with this bibliography, so you simply say OK. And when you do that, notice what it did right here on the computer. It put the author's last name and the year of the periodical right there where you wanted it in text citation. The other thing I want you to notice is that when we did that, it also created a bibliography up here for Rossi ME so that you won't have to create that later. Okay, we're going to now create a source for a book, and we'll kind of do it the same way. You simply go to your Reference tab. You make sure that your cursor is where you want your in-text citation. Then you go to your Reference tab, you click Insert Citation, add a new source right here, and then it's a book, so we're going to put book on here, and we're going to go Show All, and it shows us the fields that are recommended. Okay, once again I typed the information in for you, but there are a couple things that I need to point out that are important. First of all, notice that there's more than one author for the book. Whenever there's more than one author for whatever you're using as a reference, you need to put both authors' names on there. But if you're doing it correctly, you cannot use the word and between them, or you cannot use an ampersand. What you do is you put the first author's last name, followed by a comma, followed by his initials. Then you use a semicolon. The semicolon separates one author from the next. And then, once again, the second author, you use their last name, followed by a comma by their initials. If you had a third author, you would also use a semicolon and proceed the same way. The other thing that I want to show you is that in the book, notice that the title, only the first word in the title is uppercase, not all the preceding words. Then you have the year, the city, and then the press. And then you're finished with all of the book, because if you go down here, you don't have any other red stars. So you've got the important stuff right there, or the stuff that you need. So then you just simply say, okay. Now, if you noticed in this one, it puts both authors' names with the ampersand. Remember though, you don't type the ampersand, you use a semicolon. There's one thing that we need to do with this, however. If you read what the person wrote, it says Nader and White state. So it's got your author's names right here in the paper. So when the author's names are mentioned in the text, you do not put them in the citation. So in order to fix that, you first have to create the citation with their names in it like we did. But then you click on the citation, and when you do this, you get all these fancy little things. If you click on the drop down arrow, you will see where it says Edit Citation, and you click on Edit Citation. Now, when you click on Edit Citation, then you can click Suppress the author and the title, because you don't put the title on there either. And what that means is it won't show the author's name or the title. So when you say OK, it only shows the year. And that's all that's necessary, because you mentioned the authors right here. The last type of citation that I'm going to show you how to do is a website, and that's pretty easy to do. And once again, we find the place where we want to insert our citation. We click our cursor there and we hit the space bar. We go to the reference tab, we go insert citation, and we go down to add a new source. One thing I want you to notice right now, there's our two sources that we created right there, but we're going to add a new source. So we click add a new source. The type of source is a website. So you don't see it on here because you have to go on down. Right here's the website. Then you click show all bibliography fields, and once again it'll show us how to which fields are the most important to put on there. Once again, I typed the information in for you. There's a couple things that I want to point out to you. Right here where it says the name of the web page, notice that only the first word is uppercase. Now, we have stars where it says name of the website, year, month, and day. How many times do you go on the internet and search things and you can't really find a website name? If you don't have a website name, you can leave that blank. And the year, the month, and the day, this is when the web page was produced, not when it was accessed. So then underneath that, you'll see the year it was accessed, the month it was accessed, the day it was accessed, and the URL. The year, month, and day that the website was accessed is when you actually went on the website to find your information. Then you click OK, and as you can see, there's our third type of reference. Now, there's a couple more things that I want to show you that's kind of important for you to know. When you use the same bibliography but in a different paragraph, and you've already created a source for it, you do not need to recreate a new source. So all you need to do is go where you want the source to be, and let's go up here to insert citation. Let's assume that it is Rossi that you're using again. You just click on his name right here because you've already created that source, and if you'll notice, it automatically puts his name in there. So once you've created a in-text citation, the computer automatically creates that bibliography, and you can use that as many times as you want. You do not want to keep adding a new source if it's the exact same source. The other thing that I wanted to show you how, let's assume that we know the page numbers for this source that we're using right here. So you can go edit the citation and you can add the page numbers in there. Say it's page 12 through 15. And then you say OK, and then it automatically puts your page numbers in there for you. I hope this has helped you out. Please use this often. Thanks for your attention.